been an interesting time, to say the least. So, I plan on recording another video after this, talking about my concert experiences this year. But I thought that I'd do this little impromptu video talking about what I've been going through. So, I guess I'm gonna call this kind of like a story time. Maybe. I don't want to like label it life update again, because I don't know. Anywho, so since the last time I filmed, I believe I filmed that life update video last Friday, and it wasn't specific only to this. It was just like a general life update. But I was only about 2 days in, and now I am over a week into the dog sitting experience. So I figured I'd kind of go over what I've been going through, and also, I guess, a little bit of a funny story time. Funny now, but scary in the moment. This house is near a small airport, so you might hear some airplanes flying by, and then obviously the dogs are around, so you might hear some dog noises. Also, I don't know if it's the neighbors, or I don't know, there's like a lot of noise going on outside. There's other dogs barking. I think they're doing like lawn work somewhere. I heard different noises. And then there's these birds that like to hang out in the back here that chirp really loud. So you might hear that. But anyhow, so this is day 8, I think. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, day 9, because I was here all day Wednesday. So day 9. And I will say that I think I kind of mentioned it last time, but for me, the nights are the worst. Being alone at night is the worst. And the area is like really dark, and in front of the house it's like a wooded area, so to me that's just scary. But also a lot of animals come out of the wood, like raccoons and stuff, so they tend to make like noises and all that stuff. Anywho, but overall, I think the worst part has just been, like I said, the nighttime. I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat, and this house is older, so there's a lot of like creaking and noises, and outside there's like fruit trees. So there's an avocado tree and a star fruit tree, and she has something else, but every so often avocados or star fruits will fall on the roof and make like a banging noise, or like the animal squirrels or raccoons or whatever will try getting the avocados or the star fruit, and I just hear them up there making noise. So yeah, and that at night kind of freaks me out a bit. During the day, it's pretty calm. Part of the house is like this, where it's like glass doors that bring in a lot of like natural lighting during the day, so that's nice. Yeah, and nothing. I've just been keeping up with like the dog's routine and stuff. So I mentioned it last time, but I walk them and feed them in the morning. Throughout the day, they are used to going out in total about 2 hours before their next walk. So in the middle of their morning walk and the evening walk, they also go out back and like play or lay out in the sun and get fresh air for about 2 hours total. So during like my lunch break from work, I'll go out with them, and I try to take them out periodically when I can. So yeah, the backyard's really nice. So I usually will just take a book groceries, but I don't want to spend money. Either way, I'm spending money. Or just shut and suck it up and eat what I got, which is probably what I'm gonna do. And that's fine, honestly. I'm okay eating it. I just kind of got bored of it. I want something different. I did end up buying peanut butter and jelly, so I could make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yeah. But, alright, that's kind of what I've been up to. So, let me get into a quick little funny story time, and then I'll end this video. It's just a little short update video, I guess. But, something funny, but not so funny in the moment, happened to me the other night. So I think this wasn't yesterday, it was the night before last night. So today's Thursday, so Tuesday night. Tuesday night, for some reason, had just been like very tough. I don't know why. I was just like more scared than I usually am. And like I just felt more anxious. My body was more tense. And I don't know, I couldn't calm down. So I got ready for bed, went to bed, and I just started hearing, like, as usually I'm on my phone for a bit, and just like scrolling for a bit, or I put on a ASMR video to kind of start settling down. But as I was doing that, I just kept hearing noises, like just different noises outside and inside the house. Out in the living room area, the floors are wooden, but so is part of like the roof. It's like this wood material. So like it was just creaking more than normal, and it wasn't like raining or windy outside or anything like that. So I don't know, my brain went crazy and I was jumping to conclusions the whole night and just freaking out. So needless to say, I had a hard time falling asleep. Like it took me a while, and then even when I was like would like start falling asleep, a noise would like wake me up. So fast forward, I end up finally falling asleep. But then at around 2:30, 3 in the morning, I start hearing noises outside. And on the side of their house, they have like flashlight with me. So after like 20 minutes of not hearing anything, because at this point I'm like, okay, if somebody was trying to break in, I'd probably hear noises at like the door or the windows or whatever. But it was just the fence. So I go over to the window, because the fence is against the window of the bedroom that I'm like staying in. I go over to the window and I like peek through it and turn on the flashlight, and the neighbors have their back lights on, so that made me feel a little bit better. To like, I could kind of see in that there's light. But in this house's like side yard, I started putting the flashlight, and like I couldn't see anything. And then I looked at the fence. The fence door itself was closed. The latch was like down. So I'm just like looking around, and I'm like, okay, there's nothing. And so that calmed me down a little bit, but I'm like on high alert, listening for noises, whatever. I get back in bed. At this point, I can't sleep though, and it's like 3:30, around there. I'm like, my cortisol levels are through the roof. I can't sleep. And then about probably like 5 minutes after I did that, checking on back, all of a sudden I hear two animals like going at it. And I don't know if it was squirrels or raccoons. There are a lot of squirrels here that hang out in the trees above the house, so I'm thinking maybe it's squirrels. But also she lives in front of a wooded area, so it could have been raccoons. And they just start fighting, and I hear like loud, like chirping, aggressive, like cute animal fighting noises. And by the time I go to the window to try to look out to see them, they're like gone, and I heard the chirping far away. So I just so happened to message the owner, because they're currently across the world. And so the time difference, it was like 3 So that got my heart jumping, but it was just a bird who was trying to get the cat food and like sent the bowl flying. But yeah, I think that's a good spot to end this. This video was longer than I expected. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for the support you showed me in my last one. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, even though this is a little